Good morning, guys. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's middle of August. That's Ronnie. I'm Chad. This is Boyd Lake. We're chasing trout on the dog days of summer. We're gonna be fishing really deep today. We're staying in an offshore structure. Should be fun. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, it should be a blast.
We're currently covered in little tiny midges, so that's a good sign, guys. It's barely even first light, so we're gonna get after them and see what we can catch.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter. Peterson Toyota and Toyota Trucks, moving forward. St. Croix Rod, best rods on earth. Berkeley, catch more fish. Abu Garcia, for life.
It's funny because you see those risers, and there's one over there, and they're actually chasing little midges. But here's the thing, I think, and I'm not totally sure, I think that the shad that we keep seeing are also chasing those same midges. I'm not 100% sure of that, but the trout seem to be eating a mix of shad and midges, so kind of whatever's available to them. Typical reservoir trout. These trout were stocked in here last fall, so they've been in here for a little over, or almost a year now, and they have definitely learned to take advantage of the ample shad population that's in this lake.
And they've grown to be a really nice size.
Yeah, and they're dang tasty because of it. Got him, Tim. All right, there we go, guys. On the little pro swim shad. Now, guys, I'm gonna tell you this. Now, this one's not as big as some of them we're hoping to catch today, but I'll tell you what, and we won't net this one. I don't think we need to net that one. But for being the dog days of summer in August, first thing in the morning, and I gotta tell you, easy fish. And we will not keep this one because we'll hope for some bigger ones, but there's a perfect rainbow, and it's the middle of August, guys. And you know, and that's a key thing. See, buddy, because the water's hot, we want to go easy on them. With it being the middle of August and water temperature, 72 plus degrees, these fish are going to feed on a real short window. It's important to catch them, get them put back in if you're not going to harvest them, although we are going to harvest a couple of these today. Key is the trigger on the speed. Here's my bait. It's a brand new pro swim shad, a 2-inch pro swim shad. I got a 1/4 ounce jig head so I can swim it real fast and kill it. Or excuse me, an 1/8 ounce jig head, but I can swim it real fast and then kill it. That trout bumped it 3 times before he committed and got it. And so we'll see if we can get some more of them on that. Good little bait.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude, spend more time on the water. Lawrence, find, navigate, dominate.
Okay, if you look down at the graph right there, guys, there's a whole bunch of them on the graph right there. Those are trout. Those are all trout that are schooling around right here. And they're doing the same thing white bass or other things we'll potentially be doing this time of year. And that is chasing bait right around us right here. We're sitting on a major structural element, a big giant offshore hump. The way I've got my electronics set up right here is really important. I've got a GPS on one screen, I've got a traditional sonar on one screen, and then I've got Lawrence's down scan on the other screen. The combination of the mix is really what gives us a real clear picture of what's going on right here. So the GPS is letting me know where I am in relation to my structure. The two combination of sonar and down scan really gives me a clear idea of what's going on with the fish under the boat, and that's important.
Let's see if we get this one to bite. Bumped it twice. Oh, he bumped it again right there.
Get him, Ron. Hey Ron, we don't charge for hook sets. You can set those if you want.
Get to it.
He's funny because I'm making a little fun of Ron here, but the reality is these trout are real interesting how they feed. Is they'll bump stuff, and it's almost like they're giving it a taste, a little love tap. You'll get a little tap on it, but they won't pull on the bait. And the key is to keep the bait moving when they do that, but not take it away from them per se. So you kind of got to nurse them into biting. The screen is loaded with fish right here, so we're definitely on top of them. The biggest thing with this type of fishing is figuring out how to trigger the fish. That's the whole shooting match, is how to get them to trigger. It's not so much of locating them. They'll be on this point all summer long. The biggest thing is how do you get them to bite when they get so much pressure all the time. And they stock a lot of trout in this lake, which is why we don't mind harvesting a few of them. I know that went over the channel, down all the way, stand. Got him. Nice. All right. Now, I don't know what that's all about. Something ain't right. I foul hooked him.
Got him in the tail.
I got him in the tail, and I don't think he's gonna like it. It's a walleye too. That's hilarious. Well, that's not exactly what we had in mind, guys, but you know, sometimes it's just wrong place, wrong time for a fish, a little tiny walleye. All right, you can see what we've got right here. I'm looking at my traditional sonar, and I've stopped the screen so that you can see what we're looking at. What I want to show you is there's two lines that are kind of zigzagging their way to the bottom right there. One of those, the bottom, first of the very bottom line right here is the fish, okay? That's the fish that I saw underneath the boat. This second line is angling down to it. That's my actual jig. And this third line that you're seeing at the top is actually, I will show you here, because the way I have my power tube set up, if I set it down, I've got a swivel right here, and I've got a jig right here. And that swivel and that jig are what's making this line all the way to the bottom. If you have a drop shot set up, you can see the same thing at times where you'll see the sinker on the bottom and the bait up above it. But it's so sensitive that I can see both the swivel and the jig as they go to the bottom and drop down to that fish. All right, there you go. And we were just 20 seconds ago doing a Lowrance demonstration. We don't need it. Oh yeah, we'll net that one.
Nice
Ron,
one
here,
here,
I'll get the net right here. That's a beautiful fish. Right there in the big old fray bill. Atta boy, Ron. Atta boy.
Boom.
Get her done with the tube jig,
Locked
so
in.
we'll
That's
get
a
him.
nice
Now, how about
fish
we
there.
eat that one? You got him. You pinned him. That's a perfect eating size trout, guys, right there. All slimy. You want to shake hands? I bet you don't.
Oh, really?
Let's take home that one. Put him on the camp chef. Nice, dude.
That'll be a good one, man. I'll give you an elbow.
Elbow bump. Let's go put him in the Ranger box here. And these tubes are set up with heavy jig heads in them, so they stay pretty reactive.
A lot of days, that's the key, Chad. You know, just dialing in on that fall rate.
Yeah, especially for trout, but any species of fish, but especially trout. My experience, it seems like trout like one of two things, either really fast or no motion at all.
Sure.
And nowhere in between. There doesn't seem to be a time where, unless they're just really feeding great, where a nice even retrieve gets you trout. Almost always, they're happier about having something either extremely fast or extremely slow, as in not moving at all. And one of those two is very common. Now, I do have a second rod stamp, and there is a gulp minnow hanging over the side of the boat right there, and it'll be hanging there all morning. And typically that thing will get bit a time or two by fish that'll come by underneath the boat. Got him. Oh,
Ooh.
he's right there. He's right here. He's right here.
Get him, Chad.
He's
Get
coming
him.
back. Got him. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You got it again. Got him. Oh, he's biting at every drop.
He's owning you. He's owning you.
He is owning me. Got it.
There you
we
go.
go. Oh, come
what
on.
is
Are
happening?
you kidding me? Here he comes. Got him that time.
Oh,
he still came off. Come on, Trout.
Schooling you.
He is schooling me. Now watch when that tube's,
Oh.
there he is. He's on you, Ron. He's on Ron. He's on Ron. Got him on the first try. Good job, Ron.
Thanks for setting me up on that one.
Nice job, Ron. You can let that one go. We got one to keep. Well done, dude. Well done. That fish was on my tube, I think, how many bites in a row? And then I pulled mine up and out of the water one time, and he turned and got Ron's. Well done, dude. You want a pair of pliers?
Shake this fish.
Yeah, we don't need to get him out of the water. I think the viewers have seen trout before.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors. Peterson Toyota and Toyota Trucks, moving forward. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate.
People have a tendency when they miss fish to go ahead and reel in.
Yep, totally.
And give
worst
up on the
thing you can
cast,
do.
you know?
Yeah,
And
worst thing
so-
you can do.
That's one of the things I really key in on people with is about, you know, the minute you miss a fish, boy, just let it drop right back to them. And more often than not, they're going to come back and they're going to get it.
And I don't know if Cameron could see that trout, but he was chasing him up to the surface every time. And finally, when I tried to hook set and actually fully jerked it away from him to where the tube came up and out of the water, he turned on Ron's immediately. So he was looking to eat. There was one. He was looking to eat.
Oh.
We're going to get him now, guys. There, we got him.
Boom, nice.
Just like that, that's what I'm talking about.
Flip
That's
cutter.
a good one right here, guys. That's a good one. Grab the net, Ron, if you
Okay.
would. That's a good one here. Yeah, here he comes. Ooh, that's either a really big one or...
What do you got going on?
I don't know. That's a big one, dude. I feel like maybe
that's-
not. Maybe I just didn't have enough. That's a nice one. There you go. And you can extend that net real easy. There you go. Here he comes. Yeah, that's a nice one, guys. Here he comes. He's coming in right there.
Good job, man.
Good job. Hold still, Trout. Hold still, Trout.
Look at that bruiser,
How about
huh?
that in the morning sun, guys? That's, I mean, you look at my arm there, that's a good sized trout. And again, we're only gonna eat the one, so we'll be quick about putting him back. And that spiraling drop to the bottom, that's a magical thing for a lot of fish. Tube jigs and gulp minnows both do it very, very well. If you have a curl tail of any sort, it's better for swimming, but if you've got a straight tail or a tube jig, that spiral drop, when I drop this thing and slack it out, it's going to spiral all the way to the bottom. And as we've already seen today, the trout that see it will literally follow it in a circle. It's something magical about that for triggering fish. It works well under the ice too. But you got to give it just enough slack and follow it down. Oh, there he is, got him. There we go. There we go. That's why we do that, guys. There's that spiral drop. We'll bring him alongside. Oh, and he can spit it out. I don't know if you guys got to see him, but the thing is, with these being really reactive fish like they are, we're literally hooking them in the tip of the snout. There's Ronnie got him. Ronnie got him. Well done, Ron. Well done. There you got that one. Look at him, he just rolls over. He doesn't like the cold water or the hot water at all. There you go. Nicely done, Mr. Castiglioni. On the silver smoke tube, huh?
Trout. Unhooking trout's always fun.
Yeah, I just grab the jig and shake them at the water if you can. I mean, those are, look at them in the morning sun though. That's a very shady looking little pro tube too.
You see me looking back over here a lot. I'm looking at your graph, you know?
Right, sure. Yeah, the viewer doesn't realize, I don't know if we're making it clear how sonar intensive this really is. Part of the reason we're at the opposite ends of the boat is so he can see that graph and I can see this graph and we know what's going on all the time. It makes all the difference in the world because we are fishing vertical. So if there's no fish right here, we have no chance of catching them. We're not making casts all around the boat at this point. We've figured out after a slow start this morning that we need to sit right on top of them and fish vertically. The biggest question every day you need to decide is, do I need to fish vertically or horizontally? If you can fish horizontally and get bites, you can cover more water and catch more fish. However, vertical fishing is more precise and in a lot of cases will get you more bites if you can locate the fish. That's what the sonar units do.
There's one right there, Chad.
There you
Oh!
go.
Man, they're schooling us today.
Oh, they are schooling us today. And just for the record, these are good hooks. So you notice too, as we're fishing this vertical bite right here, you'll see me at times open the bail and I'll use my thumb to control slack coming off there. And then I'll close my bail. The reason I'm doing that is I'm trying to adjust the height of my tube in the water column to be at or above the fish that I'm fishing for. Now we're in 32 feet of water, but the fish are only 15 or 18 or 20 feet down in some cases. Sometimes they're tighter to the bottom. So it becomes a constant battle of, well, I've lost some line, the tube's getting high in the water column, so I'll crack the bail, use my thumb to control it and let some line go back out. Depth control, depth control, depth control. Depth control catches more fish. Depth control, line control, and casting accuracy. In this case, casting accuracy is not important. It's all about depth control and line control.
Barely had it though, but he had it.
I'm swinging for the bleachers with the jig and spoon here. I figure we got high bright sun and crystal clear water. How about some chrome action? Got
There
it.
he is.
There you go.
Oh, he come off.
Oh, you shouldn't have re-pulled him. I saw you reset him.
Yeah, I never really made good contact with him.
Yeah.
He might be on it again though.
There you go. He might. Oh, that was a nice one too.
Oh, he came back, got it again, Chad.
Oh!
Oh.
Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop
How many
it.
times will this fish bite?
Yeah, how dumb is this fish? I don't see him now. That is awesome.
Nice, Chad.
Nice, there we go.
You need the net?
Oh, he jumped after he came off. How cool is that? Oh, the fish already came unhooked and then jumped. That is awesome. These trout are hilarious, dude. There you go. There you go. Hey, Ronnie, I don't think it's a panfish. No. He just finished saying he got a real light
I think
bite.
it's another trout.
I think so. We'll put him in the net right there. And I want to point out, did you notice how fast, even with my paltry net skills, I was able to extend the net and catch this trout?
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter. St. Croix Rod, best rods on earth. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors.
Good job, Ron.
That's a good one too here, Chad.
Is it? I'll net you. Hang on, give me 1 sec. I'll get this bait up off the bottom and I will give you a net job.
Oh, it's a giant,
Oh,
Chad.
it's a nice one. There you go,
Giant,
buddy.
giant, giant.
Nice one. Right there in the
there's
big
that
old
5-pounder.
free bill. There's
that
nice one. Come
5-pounder.
on up here with me, Ron. Beautiful fish.
Huh?
Good job,
You like that
Uncle
one?
Ron Castiglioni. Get him in the drink. He's good. Here, right here.
Back in the net.
Back in the net. Back in the drink. Whew. All right, buddy, here you go. The water's warm. We want you out of here quick. And if we had any problem with any of these expiring guys, they stock tens of thousands of these a year in here. If any of these don't make it, we will for sure eat them. There he goes, no sweat. Right back to the bottom. You can watch. Look how clear the water is too.
There you go.
How nice is that? Oh, guys, Ronnie, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Ronny
Lots of fun.
Castiglioni, you guys have seen Ronnie on the show a bunch before. He guides with us. You want to go out on a guide trip with him, you can check him out at fishfulthinker.com. You know, deep water trout in the middle of summer on a hot, dog days, people don't think about it a lot, but it's a great way to catch them. Get out, focus on the graph, focus on your jigging motion. You can catch some fish, right?
You can. You just got to be persistent.
There you go. Well, it's about 9:30 in the morning, guys. We launched at 5:30 this morning, so we're gonna go back to home now, and I'm gonna show you how we put one of these trout on the Camp Chef. They're gonna be delicious, I promise you. So, Ronnie, you like to cook. Might you join us, maybe?
Ah, sure, absolutely. I love eating trout. They're delicious.
There you go, guys. So stay tuned. Here we go. We'll go see how this thing cooks up. Okay, guys, we're back from Boyd Lake State Park, and here's the trout you saw us catch about 2.5 hours ago. Ronnie and I are gonna put this together. We're gonna make trout in foil. Here's a quick rundown of the ingredients. We've got Chardonnay right here. We've got some lemons, some orzo, which is already blanched. We've got garlic, red onion, squash, basil, cubed butter, and salt and pepper. Ronnie, how are we gonna put them together?
Well, we're gonna make a butter and wine and lemon reduction, and then we're gonna go ahead and stuff the orzo and the squash and some of the basil and whatnot in the cavity of the trout there, and we're gonna season it up and wrap it in foil and throw it on the grill. It's basically like we're poaching the fish, but we're doing it inside a foil as opposed to using like a poaching tray. We've made kind of a little canoe here that we're gonna end up putting the trout in and kind of poaching everything inside.
Sure.
So we're gonna go ahead and spray those with a little bit of oil. Then we're gonna go ahead and salt and pepper that. Why don't you go ahead and do that, Chad?
I can handle that. And you want it on the skin, correct?
Yeah.
And so we'll give a little salt and pepper on the outside and in the cavities as well.
All right, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take the trout and we're gonna place it inside the little foil. We're gonna take some of this orzo, and I'm just gonna use my hands. And we're gonna do a little bit of basil in there, and we're not gonna be shy with the basil. Add a little bit more orzo. We're gonna do some of these
Squash
yellow
pieces.
squashes. Take a little bit of the lemon, and we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of lemon juice on there right now. Maybe a little bit more orzo. Looks like it could take a little bit more. And it's fine to kind of fill the whole foil as well. It doesn't all have to be right in the trout, Chad.
Okay.
Now we're gonna take this. This is the wine and butter reduction that we've
Wine,
done.
butter, red onion.
Red onions, just a little bit of garlic as well in there,
Garlic,
and
okay.
we've reduced that down probably by about half
Okay.
as far as that goes. And we're gonna
Okay.
just kind of pour that into the cavity there, and we're also gonna just pour some of that into the foil.
Okay, and you want this to be as sealed as possible,
At
correct?
this point, you do. And as we cook it, we'll open it at some point
And look at it.
and look at it, and that'll help the juice inside reduce a little bit. But initially, we just kind of want it all sealed up.
Okay.
So there's one right there, and that's ready to go on the grill at that
That's
point.
a larger one, so let's go ahead and put that on. This is the Camp Chef grill box right here. It's sitting on the Somerset 4 stove.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just put this on.
Put that right on there.
And that's going on direct heat like that.
Boom.
And, that should take, depending on the size of the trout, anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes. We'll probably start looking at it at about 10 minutes and open it up at that point, and maybe fork it a little bit with a fork to see if it'll flake off a little bit, and then just kind of dial it in from there.
All right, guys, so it's been about, what, 10 minutes?
10 minutes
about
or so.
10 minutes. This thing's still humming along between 350 and 400 degrees. We've kind of played with that a little bit. You're ready to check them. Let's check them?
Yeah, let's go ahead
All
and
right,
pull it open now.
so what are we looking for?
We're gonna kind of pull the foil open.
And you can see it bubbling away in
And
there.
what you really want to do is kind of just stick a fork in here in the back, in the thickest part,
Let's see if it'll flake.
and just kind of flake a little bit of it and see where you're at. And I can tell these need just a few more minutes, but they're getting close.
Really? So in 10, well, it's gonna be less than 15 for sure.
Sure.
And these are gonna be done at somewhere between 350 and 400 degrees the whole time. All right, so I'm looking at this right now, Ron. That's looking pretty good. Those are close. Now, we open the foil slightly, or relatively, and you're just trying to cook off some liquid at this point.
A little bit out, let the juice that's inside there just reduce real quick though. These are within minutes or a minute or two of being done.
Okay. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's what 3 hours on Boyd Lake jigging for trout looks like right there. Fantastic. The orzo's completely cooked. The squash is obviously completely cooked. The basil's cooked down, almost looks like spinach. What's the plan, Ron? Do we pull the skin or we pick right through it?
You know, I kind of flake the meat off, sort of get the skin off and just get to the meat and just kind of mix it all together and eat it.
Well, it looks great. I think we should dig in there. I'll take some rib meat. Oh, look how nice it flakes right here. And that took about 15 total minutes of cook time.
Sure. That'll work.
Guys, guide trip with Ronny Castiglioni, you should do it. Not only can he help you catch the fish, he can tell you how to cook them as well. Dan Swanson as well. We want to give a quick thanks to Dan Swanson for his help this morning as well. Ronny, that is great. If you want more information on all the products we use to cook this, campchef.com. Ronny, we appreciate you taking us out and taking us on your bite. He's the guy that developed that bite. We just went along for the ride this morning and it worked really well. Finesse jigging's the way to go. We'll have this recipe on fishfulthinker.com pretty quick. You can book a guide trip with Ronny or Dan on fishfulthinker.com as well. Hopefully you guys will join the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And most importantly, we hope you'll tune in and we'll see you next week. Oh, here we go. Got it. Oh no! Good catch, Ron. I had the trout. Are you kidding me? Come on now. That's ridiculous. What happened?
It's a real mess.
What happened?
And there's a blooper.
There he is. Oh, dang it. He clobbered the jigging spoon.
I'll let you deal with
All
that.
right, cut for a quick second.